Welcome to the podcast. We were having some
serious problems.
Some serious technical issues, so I am just going to go ahead and ignore everybody and bring in the intro music. God bless America.
God bless America.
It is Red Shirt Friday.
America.
And you are wearing a red shirt, and I didn't know if you know what Red Fridays are.
No, I have no idea what Red Fridays are, and I see a red button on there. Is this recording? Is this live?
We are live.
Oh,
boom!
Yellow means live. Okay.
So everybody, last time, if you do have any audio problems, let me know, because I run a mobile recording studio. One day I will have a professional recording studio, and I need to. So we got to make sure we look into the new camera.
And I have the handy dandy phone, so if anybody's not getting audio, just
text us
and
let us know, because this is live, and we're about to tap out your eardrums. Can I say that, corny?
We're about 50 minutes late.
We are 50 minutes late.
I doubt anybody's watching right now.
Yes,
but
really? They will listen.
Okay.
So I apologize. We left off last time talking about some personal stuff. How's your day today, by the way?
Day's pretty good, man. Had a crazy night though. Crazy fucking night. And let me tell you what happened. It was ridiculous. So I'm driving to the gym. Okay, I got practice at 6:30. Left my house. I was going to actually be on time for once in my life.
You're always on time.
Okay, we'll go with that story. So, anyways, I'm heading to the gym. I'm coming down Steel Creek Road.
Okay.
All right. And I'm behind this white van, and it's only me and him on the road. Okay.
Okay.
There's traffic passing us, but there's no one behind us that I can see.
Okay.
And so he's probably about 20 feet in front of me. And Kiana Reed, Carl Reed's wife, beautiful wife, if she's watching, this is a bread life story. Okay, so we're going to go with, this is a bread life story here. So, and I probably just pronounced her name wrong. I think I fucked that up. But anyways, so I'm driving down the street, just driving to the gym, and this white work van is in front of me. And my beams on my car, brand new Nissan Altima, it's beautiful. And
it is beautiful.
It's got some really nice headlights on it. Boom, lights going everywhere.
My wife has some really nice headlights.
I'm not sorry. So anyways, headlights, van, me, Steel Creek Road, boom, lights. And it's dark though, remember? But I can see up in front of the van this dude standing on the side of the road. And the van gets pretty close to where the guy is. The guy just just takes a fucking leap of faith
into the road,
into the road, and the van slams on its brakes.
Oh God, no!
The van slams on its brakes, and I hear just this terrible sound, and it sounded like metal hit metal. Okay, but I saw the guy jump in front of the van. And then I see this dude just legs, what you can see in the dark, flying through the air and lands probably about 20 feet in front of the van. And I'm like, whoa. So I'm looking in my rearview mirror to see if anybody's coming.
Wait. So you're driving behind the white van.
I'm behind the white van.
Guy steps in the middle of the road.
Guy steps in the middle of the road.
The van hits the guy.
Van hits guy.
Shoes in legs, all in the air.
Shoes, legs, head, everything going through there.
Holy shit.
Yes.
Why didn't you say this earlier?
I forgot.
All right, then.
Okay, well, hold on, wait. It gets worse.
God, no.
So I'm looking in my rearview mirror, and I see headlights coming in the lane beside me. Cars, and I'm laying on the horn, and I look up in front of the van, and I can see this guy. He's in front of the van, but he's sort of in the center lane. So he's off to the side, and he's just laying there like, and so this car's coming, and I'm laying on the horn, and they're flying, and then they slam on their brakes, and they run them, boom. This was last night before class.
No shit.
No shit.
Did you stick around for the police to come?
Well, you know, I was trying to figure out, should I leave? Because technically I didn't hit the dude, and I really didn't get to practice, teach some damn jiu-jitsu.
Did you think you were going to get blamed?
I don't know. Well, you know, I was worried. I was like, fuck, they might figure out a way to twist this shit around on me. But I did get out. I called 911, and then I got out of the vehicle. And, of course, the car that had hit him the second time, the two ladies had gotten out, and they were up in the street with the gentleman. And the guys hadn't got out of the van yet. So I'm walking up towards the guy that's laying in the road, with the two ladies, or one of them screaming and hollering, the other one's trying to, like, kneel down on him. And, dude, there was blood, you know, just, it's dark. You can see dark puddles of blood everywhere. And the van door opens, and this Hispanic gentleman gets out, and he couldn't speak any English. And right then I had a pretty good idea I probably needed to stay. So I stuck around because I figured the cops would come, and he couldn't speak English. And I was like, I need to tell him what I saw. You know, I saw the guy jump out in front of the van. So.
Okay, so the guy did jump out in front of the van
in
the middle of the intersection. Did he do that really? What an entrance. Did he live?
I have no idea.
God bless. That's a great way to.
Paddy wagon came and got him, threw him in the back of the wagon. And hey, listen, if you get hit in Charlotte, or if you not get hit, if you decide in front of a damn speeding van in Charlotte, North Carolina, just understand you're taking.
How fast were you going?
I mean, it was still Crook Road. We was at least going 35, 40 miles an hour.
Sorry to interject. I know you were going somewhere with that.
Okay, so can I start over?
Yeah, please.
If you decide to go in front of a speeding fucking van, understand you're playing double jeopardy with your life. Number one, most speeding vans that are going 40 miles per hour will kick your ass. I just want to make sure we all understand that. Number two,
they're driven by Mexicans with green cards.
Yes, especially. And yeah, it's true. I mean, and number two, Steel Creek, where this guy got hit, is literally half a mile from the hospital. Let that sink in for a minute. I don't know the exact time he got hit, but it took a good 20 minutes for that fucking ambulance to get there.
You could have just picked him up, put him back in the car, and just drove him to the hospital probably faster.
Probably so.
But then you would have probably been arrested.
And then
hitting the guy. And leaving the scene of a crime.
I couldn't help him. Man, I got. Hold on here. Wait a minute. Actually, you know what?
Did you get out and take pictures?
I did. I got out, took some pictures. I mean, what do you want me to do? This was a once in a lifetime thing. It's not every day that you're driving down the street and a guy gets hit by the. Let me see right here. Here we go. Now look. Yeah, there he is right there.
Do you are those spats he's wearing?
Yeah, those are spats. That might be.
Was he going to class?
It might be one of the Leadership Academy spats. That might be one of TC's students. I don't know.
I should email TC and go, hey man, did you miss somebody from class last night?
Well, actually, you know, he was walking.
Can I share this?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, number one, so everybody watching, all four of you right now, there'll be more because you're so attractive to us. Oh, and remind me next time to get the Checkmat logo centered, please.
I don't know if we should do that, but go ahead. Show the picture. Show the picture. See that? Yeah, that's him. That's him. I told you. I took the pictures, man. I don't play games, dude.
Fucking paparazzi.
That's a bread life story. We got plenty of bread life stories we got to get to eventually, but this is a pretty good one. Look, there's the van. Let's see, there's the white car.
Did he go out and go, no entiendo, no hablo inglés?
You want to know what the worst part? I looked at him and I said, I don't know anything. I don't know how to speak Spanish.
Can you say hello?
Well, you know what? I should have, but my greeting was uno. Fuck, that's all I know. That is Spanish, right?
That is well, it's also a guard game for kids, but yes, that is. You just walked up to somebody and went, one.
Well, no, I didn't walk up to him. He got out of the fucking van. He had just hit somebody. He's lucky I said he didn't do it all. I said Uno, and he just looked at me and was like, see? And so, hold on. So I look at him, and I just did I did like the classic. There's some people in Haywood County where I'm from. They have their own language,
right? And
it's like a lot of grunting and snorting.
Oh,
and they do the like that. So I looked at him. I just figured it's universal for guy jumped in front of the fucking road. So I looked at him and I said, "Hey," and he looked at me. See? And I said, and he goes, "Yeah." And I was like, fuck. And so he comes over to me and he hands me his phone, and he pointed at because we was on the corner of Sam Neely and Steel Creek. So he hands me his phone and points at the sign, and I look down, and obviously he was trying to text to his boss.
Oh God.
Where he was, man. I felt so sorry for him, and I tried not to look in the van for fear there was something I didn't want to see. Was
it a rape van?
No.
Windows or no windows?
There was one. I mean, it was a work van. It was a work van, and another dude finally got out, and I gave him the sign. I looked at him. I was like, this guy's fucked. You take off.
What did he do?
He looked like he wanted to run. I mean, I seriously.
Did the van door open and like 30 more people run out?
There was at least 5 more in there, and I mean, I felt so sorry because it really wasn't their fault, man. It was not their fault. I don't know what makes this guy. And you know what's crazy? When I got to the guy, he wasn't talking, but
the guy on the ground.
The guy, no, yeah. Well, but wait a minute. The 2 ladies, one which was hysterical. So for all I knew, she was like hearing shit from like.
Well, she just ran over a man.
Well, yeah, but you gotta be cool, dude. You gotta be cool. So, anyways, listen. One of them looked at me and said that the guy said this was the 3rd time he'd been run over by a car.
What? Oh.
That's what she said.
That's an insurance scam.
Before he passed out, she said that it is the 3rd time he'd been run over.
That's a scam. Well, hey, look, if you just happen to look for Bread's Kitchen and you are hit by a car this morning on Friday, December 8th, please email us. I will invite him to the show.
We want him on the show. We want you as a guest.
We want you as a guest on the show. And to the Mexican person, llámeme, por favor, and we will get you on here as well because Uno. It's all so.
Hey, at least I'm not. The bread stories are always true, and I had proof right there. I showed you the photo, and they saw.
Why does this shit always happen to you?
Dude, I don't know, man. I'm like a magnet for foolishness. It's been going on for.
But at least some of it you caused, but this one obviously you didn't cause.
Usually I don't cause it. Okay, I might have something to do with it, but I don't necessarily cause the foolishness.
So coming back to last podcast, we talked about how you made yourself the target for people so that your fighters would be largely ignored and everybody would get pissed off at you.
Dude, you have no idea. Let me tell you another bread life story. You want a bread life story?
Hey, people out there, look. Yes, they want bread life stories. Yes.
Adam Dehart, Adbad. You know Adbad? You ever heard of Adam?
I've heard of him. I've never met him.
Everyone thinks Adam's like a psycho killer, which technically, I guess, when you make him mad, he probably is. But he's actually one of the nicest people you ever met in your life. And he was going to fight. This was in the middle of when we were really traveling down to Atlanta a lot. Dave Oblis, NFC Promotions. I think it's called NAT now. Used to be Wild Bills. Guys, if you want to see if you want to see some good MMA, you want to see some good MMA. I'm talking about not just the quality of the show, but the fighters can fight. And that's another episode for another time, my opinion on why they can fight. But we was really going down there, Renegade Fighting Systems and other people that I managed. I had my hand in the cookie jar. I was bringing a lot of fighters, North Carolina and South Carolina, coming down through Georgia. And Adam had been down there, and man, he was tearing it up. I mean, he had won a $10,000 tournament in North Carolina. He'd won some big fights here in North and South Carolina. He'd been up north fighting. and his teammates had been killing it down at Wild Bill's. And so he went down there, he won a couple fights, and then I booked him with this kid, man, I can't even remember his name. His name was Jeremy.
Charlotte guy or
this guy was from Atlanta, man. Yeah, we don't have people like this dude in Charlotte. No, this guy was like.
He was different. A good different or bad different?
I wouldn't say it's a bad different. I mean, fuck, it's a different world in Atlanta. I mean, this guy was like a cross between. I'd put him a cross between Pee Wee Herman and Lil Jon. Yeah. But anyways, so this guy was gonna fight D-Hart, right?
You come up with some of the greatest analogies.
If you'd known this dude, and again, no one can get mad at me about this because I didn't say his name because I don't remember his name. They can just guesstimate. Anyways, this dude was going to fight D-Hart, and I was going online, and I was pumping the fight up, and he didn't like how I pumped it up. He didn't like the fact that I said D-Hart was going to win. And that literally, I might have added it in a different, I might have said it in a different manner, but basically that's all I said was D-Hart was going to win.
Well, that means in cornbread speech something. Regina, please cover the young one's ears. That usually means I'm going to have my guy fuck your guy up.
Yes, but I didn't say it that way. I remember I did not say it that way. But the guy.
Are you sure?
I'm positive I didn't say that. But the guy got really upset. I mean, he got really. And he
was,
why? Well, and another thing was he was a rapper.
Was it? Say no more.
Okay, he was a rapper and he was an aspiring MMA fighter, and he was, he had his posse with him, and I sort of thought he was going back and forth with me on Facebook to try to build interest. I thought he got it. I thought he understood the game. He wanted to make the money.
He was really mad.
Let me tell you how mad this guy was. He said he told Dave Wallace that he was going to kill me and my children. That's how mad he was. He was that pissed. So when we get to this,
good luck with Eddie.
When we get to the fights,
Eddie fuck him up.
when we get to the fights, we actually had to have extra security, which this wasn't the first time we'd had.
Are you serious?
Of course, that happened multiple times at Wild Bills. We had to have security down there. Johnny Nasty Buck, one time, he literally caused a riot. He was fighting a guy, and I'm not going to get too much into this because this fighter's deceased. This guy killed himself, but Johnny Buck was fighting this guy, and it was such a big deal. And it was, and Roger was fighting Tex Johnson in the co-main event, and it was such a big deal. We had to have security, and in fact, the guy got so mad at the weigh-ins at me, he literally chased me around the building. I told him that he didn't have to cut the weight, and so he was in the middle of cutting the weight, so he started to stop, and then I was like, "I'm just fucking with you. Go ahead and cut the weight." He was so pissed off, man. Good times, though, dude. Good times.
So that's a good question about promotions. We were talking about somebody that hasn't got a call from the UFC. Talk about generally promotions. You get promotions.
Yes.
And I mean, there are a lot of people that watch the UFC don't understand what it takes to promote a fight. And all of you hardcore fans out there, even for local main events or national UFC events, there's a lot that goes in between, especially communication prior to shit talking.
Oh, dude.
So that people understand the true intentions. And then when they're shit talking, it is for public display. And locally, I mean, no one, I haven't seen anyone do it better than you, but nationally, obviously there's some people in the UFC. Why didn't the UFC call a specific person we talked about last time?
You mean Keith Richardson or?
I would.
Yeah, the Rockstar.
Two, but if you want to go with Keith, you can go with that story first.
Keith Richardson. Was there another one? Okay. Well, on Keith, I have no idea. And if you guys are watching this podcast, or when you watch this podcast, this is ridiculous. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I made a post on Instagram. I want everybody to think about this. Keith Richardson, I don't know how fucking old he is. I know he's 4 foot tall. I'm not sure how old, but Keith Richardson.
Is he 4 feet tall?
He's close to it.
I mean,
there's only a couple people in this world that I'm taller than that I remember. Him and Jimmy Fowler.
You are taller than him.
I am taller than him. I've been telling him this. That's the other thing. He's in denial about it. Like, yeah, seriously. Like, I'm looking down on him, and I'm like, Keith, I have you a fight. And he's like, and he's looking up at me, and oh, by the way, I'm taller than you. No, you're not. I mean, what the fuck am I going to say? The guy is a killer. He's a fighter. He's a man's man. I mean, I can't. And so finally, I'm just like, okay, you're right. You're taller than me.
What color is this guy?
He's white.
Right.
He's white. He's whiter than Snow White, dude. He is a pasty white ass. I saw him at weigh-ins. But anyways, let me go on. So Keith Richardson, the rock star. He is 19-8 as a professional MMA fighter. He was 5-0 as an amateur.
I thought he had more than that. I thought like his record was close to like 40 fights total.
Well, I mean, fuck, that's 32. I mean, 19-5, that's 24 and 8, and the 8 losses, that's 32. This guy has 32 mixed martial arts fights. He's 19-8. Now, bear with me, please, because a lot of people, when they think of the UFC, they think of Conor McGregor, and he's only lost 2 fights, and John Jones has never lost, and GSP has only lost 1, or whatever. But do you know how many people?
John Jones team.
Hold on. Do you know how many people are in the UFC who don't have nearly half the experience and have worse records than Keith Richardson, and do not have a fragment, not even a tenth of the talent that this guy has? I've managed and I've trained a lot of guys here in the Charlotte area and abroad, and I've made very few arguments for people to be in the UFC. I can probably count them on my hands for the people that I've went to Sean Shelby and Joe Silva about getting them into the UFC. Okay?
And explain your relationship with Joe Silva.
Well, Joe Silva is I'm not even sure if he's still the matchmaker. He's the matchmaker of the UFC, or he used to be the matchmaker. Sean Shelby took over his job, and in order to get anybody in the UFC, despite popular opinion, everybody thinks that if you know someone, you can just get somebody in the UFC. That is not the case. You have to go through the channels. You're either going through the show of The Ultimate Fighter, or you're going through the matchmakers. End of the story. And so I've dealt with these guys before, and I've dealt with them in depth with Keith. And the frustrating thing with Keith is, usually with the UFC or with Bellator, they're looking for win streaks. Let's just be
now they are.
Well, no, I mean, they always have been. I mean, it's always been a win streak, and it's always been a numbers game because they only have so many slots on their roster. So they can't just take everybody.
Back then, yes, but I mean, we'll argue the UFC roster these days. Back then, I could see why Joe may have had, a little bit of resentment's not the right word. Win streaks back then, in my opinion, were not the only thing that got you. It was showmanship. It was who managed the person and how they fought. Now, you're talking about win streaks. This is something new to me, so I have no comment on this. So why do you think win streaks were so important as compared to the other 3 metrics that I mentioned?
Well, wait a minute. No one. Hold on. Before we go there, who gives a shit? Keith Richardson should be in the UFC. End of story. Now, wait a minute. I agree. If he should have been in the UFC last year. At one point, he was on a 6-fight win streak.
Mm-hmm.
His loss before that 6-fight win streak started was to Charles Rosa, and it was at the weight class above the weight class that Keith fights. It was at 145, and they had an absolute war. And I sent the video to Sean Shelby. I sent the video to Joe Silva. I blasted everywhere I could. Now, granted, he lost, so that was understandable. So I went to Sean Shelby and I said, look, what do we need to do? And he gave me a list of people that was on his radar. We tried to fight every single one of them. We did get one to fight, and Keith beat him. Keith beat 6 guys in a row with winning
Do you want to
records.
say who that was?
I don't even remember the guy's name. I'd have to look back up on my email list. But I have all this stuff. Okay. Regardless, all this stuff is I mean, it's all facts because you can look up Keith's record. You can look at who he fought.
Right.
You can see the win streaks.
Right.
You can also see the losses, and that's fine. But my point is, you have a guy like CM Punk in the fucking UFC, and Keith Richardson, wait a minute, served 2 tours in freaking Iraq and served his country. The guy's been hit with IEDs and RPGs and R2D2s and all kinds of shit. The guy's 19-8. They're coming to Charlotte January 27th. To hell with this. Hashtag Rockstar UFC. Email them, call them, Instagram them, Facebook them, hashtag them, ring them in the butt. I don't care what you do, people, but guys, we got to get some sport because this is ridiculous. Because if Keith Richardson does not get in the UFC, he should be on that UFC card here in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's ridiculous.
Do you think it's too late to get him on an undercard?
My honest opinion, what I believe, I don't think it's going to happen. But I do think that if everybody, and I'm talking about not just local MMA fans, if the local MMA fans, if everybody watching this podcast or is on my Facebook or is on my Instagram that claims to be a fan of Fight Lab Warfare, Keith Richardson, Modern Warrior, me, Dark Side of MMA, Renegade, Warfare, Revolution, I don't care who you are. If you're part of the MMA family and you claim to be part of the MMA family and you share hashtag Rockstar UFC all on your social media, if you email the UFC, if you call the UFC, something might get done. My gut feeling is it's not going to get done. That's my gut feeling.
Have you seen the undercard for that event yet?
No. Have you?
I haven't either. I haven't.
Now, I do know there is one local person that Jordan Rinaldi, I do believe is going to be fighting.
Is it really?
I think. I don't know. I haven't seen anything announced, but I mean, my God, it's his hometown. If Jordan doesn't fight on it, then I don't know. I'd like to see Jordan on. I know Derek Brunson is the main event against Jacare.
Yeah, Jacare.
What do you think about that?
The original Jacare?
Jacare Souza, yeah, the Gator.
So,
Crocodile. What's his name? Is it the alligator?
It's the crocodile. I forget at this point, actually.
He's going to have a Tar Heel footprint on his chest after January 27th.
So
DB puts those things on.
We're talking about the original Jacare. So that brings, I don't know if you wanted to skip ahead to this, but so when I came back to Charlotte and was training over at Scott Shields, I got in the military October of 2000. I went to work for Ric Flair because I was trying to go to the power plant. And,
Woo! That's right.
I was friends with David.
I love that guy.
Yeah,
Ric Flair. You know I'm a WWE man, right?
Oh yeah.
I'd rather watch WWE than anything else.
So a quick digression. My favorite of all time was the Rock and Roll Express, Randy Orton and Robert Gibson.
Yep.
I think if I remember that correctly.
Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson.
Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson. Those were every Saturday morning. I would wake up and I could not wait for those two guys to come on screen.
Yes. So
growing up, after I moved down here from Detroit, I got into wrestling or pro wrestling at the time, and I will do the honors, sir. And it just so happened that when I got out of the military, I was going to try to get onto the police force. So I went through all the academy stuff, got accepted, and long story short, it just didn't end up happening. The interim, I went to go. I called some friends that knew Rick, and I went to go work for Rick. And Brian was a friend of mine that I met there working, and obviously Rick owned the gym at the point. And Scott Shields would come in and do training, and so
Scott Shields, the local Charlotte martial arts. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll make sure I'm with you.
So
Scott Shields. You guys remember that name, Scott Shields.
Scott Shields. So he's got a very tight connection to Jacare. So he would always go down to Atlanta and train, then come back up here. And this is, I mean, 2001. So
okay, so he was you're talking about Jacare Alliance Jacare.
correct.
Okay. Derek Brunson's fighting Jacare Souza.
Souza. Oh, my bad.
Okay, but go ahead. I want to hear this story.
So I just started training with them down there, and then 2001 to 2005. So we were doing Jeet Kune Do, Kali, Silat, and then Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and a little bit of Muay Thai.
Okay, whoa, wait a minute. Hold on, because this is important, because Charlotte BJJ history is one of the most confusing things to piece together, because everybody has a story that conflicts with what seems to be the present story. So
Correct.
2000, 2001,
Mhm.
make sure somebody's not texting me about the, oh, no, we're still good. Nobody said anything about the sound. So 2000, 2001, you was training with Scott Shields in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he was going down and training with Jacare.
Correct.
At Alliance.
Correct.
Continue the story.
Correct. So, I mean, he was a black belt at the time, and I would see Scott put clinics on people. I mean, I would see other black belts come into the school, and at the time, I didn't have a true understanding of what
you was looking at.
exactly, and what Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu meant to me in my life journey at that point. I just knew when I got out of the military, for me to, I guess, replace my aggression with being hit in the face and hitting other people in the face and doing all kinds of shit like that. So
thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you. As I like to say, duty deserves no thanks, but thank you. Got out and trained with him, and then moved out back to California with the current company that I'm with now, opened our West Coast facility, trained out there with Dan Inosanto, Eric Paulson, the Machados, the Dog Brothers, and then moved back here. And I'd go down and travel and train with Scott as much as I could. But one of his students that was there at the time, Rob Hunter, had graduated, let's just say, to opening his own school. Rob had moved out to California pretty much the same time, and we just never knew each other was out there. And he got his instructorship under Guru Dan Inosanto, whose lineage literally comes from Bruce Lee. So if you guys know anything about Jeet Kune Do, and everybody wants to call bullshit on Jeet Kune Do, I've seen Dan Inosanto do things to people that, I mean, Dan's maybe as tall as you, a little bit shorter, maybe.
He's a big son bitch.
Big son bitch. But I've seen him at God, he's probably like 70, 80 years old. He's up there. But back then, I mean, just the stuff that he would do and the stories that he would tell were just amazing.
No, listen, I really want to know more about Daniel Inosanto. But I got you on this Scott Shields thing. So has really, I want you to go back to this. Keep on Rob Hunter and go around back down to Scott Shields.
I'm getting back, yeah.
Because some of you son bitches are lying. Somebody's lying. It's either you guys or him. So, but I'm going to get to the bottom of this. It won't be tonight. But
so when I moved back here and started training with Rob, all of a sudden the lineage of Scott was called into question on the internet.
So now you're talking about like 2011.
2011. I moved back.
2012.
2011, 2012. And Mick Marlier, if you're out there, big shout out to Mick, one of my good friends and one of my instructors over at Scott's. There's drama everywhere you go, and I'm not going to touch on the drama at specific places.
I am.
But I will tell you that from my personal experience, I know that if Scott isn't a black belt, or if people want to question his black belt, go to his school and grapple with him, and then come and tell me what you think.
Yeah, you can't say that because I've used that line too.
True.
I've told people before about someone else in Charlotte. He always gets he gets accused of being a fraud, and there's nothing about this guy fraudulent. He has fraudulent ways. He's a used car salesman, but he's not a fraud. And I tell people all the time, if you think he's if you want to know about his black belt, where he's at, go down there and roll with him.
People are afraid to do that, though.
I don't know what it is. I think people want someone to be a fraud. Now, the real way to solve this, if you're really concerned about whether somebody's a fraud or not, is to just take my take on it and say, well, you can question all their belts, but then the moment somebody puts a black belt on them, just say they're a black belt.
So,
but you're saying Scott was a black belt back in 2000, 2001, or was he? Because I know Scott does a lot. Now, I don't know him personally. I know of him. I've met him in passing. I've seen him at tournaments. Mm-hmm. He said, "Hey, Cornbread." I've said, "Hey, Scott." But I mean, me and him's never sat down and had a real conversation like me and you, or like me and Dave Mansell, who Dave Mansell's going to be on our show very soon, or like me and Joe Hurst, or me and Jeremy Rail, or me and John Piper, or me and Steve Hall. Me and Scott's more just in passing. But I do know a little bit about his school. I know that. I know he does judo, jiu-jitsu, kung fu, stick fighting, sword fighting, knife fighting, bar fighting, cage fighting. I mean, he does all the fighting, right? I know
all the fighting.
Okay, he does all the fighting. Sort of like Shrimp, me and Shrimp.
Shrimp, yes, you and Shrimp and Gumbo Shrimp.
Okay, so, but in 2000, 2001, are you saying he was a black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, or was he a black belt in other disciplines, and he wore his black belt? I mean, fuck, who's going to take his? I know if I was a black belt in judo, kung fu, Japanese jiu-jitsu, hapkido, knife fighting, sword fighting, and I've taught 18 classes a day, and then the jiu-jitsu class comes in, and I'm a purple belt. I'm not taking my fucking black belt off. I mean, my black belt off to put on a purple belt. I'm just going to keep teaching. So was that the case, or was he an actual black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu? To your knowledge.
At the time, I believe he was a brown belt when I started training with him, and then he got his black belt while I was gone. I will say this, and anybody that's been out to the Inosanto Academy, they're not big on belts. Guru Dan.
This is the big son that you're talking about.
Yes.
Inosanto. Okay.
Inosanto. Very different teaching style from any other martial arts school I've had, because he can literally walk up and show 4 different ways to disarm a knife. And I mean, there's so many forms of kali. I mean, Panatukan is one of my favorites. And he is just, for me, growing up as a kid and following Bruce Lee and finally getting to meet Guru Dan and being a student of his and seeing the knowledge that this guy has, it's awe. Like you said, when people come in here and they look at you and you're this god and you want people to ask you questions. I was kind of like that with him until I kind of met him traveling around, and he would come out here, and Joel, shout out to Joel. Joel's his training partner that travels with him. I mean, Guru Dan's probably 80 years old now and still traveling around. But the point that I'm getting back to is that when people come in here, you have this mindset of, if you have a question, ask it. There's no stupid questions, but there's stupid timing.
That's my famous saying. There's no stupid question, but there's stupid timing. You don't ask in time and you get your shit broke. That's stupid timing.
Yes, exactly. And it's hard out there because literally you would walk in any class, and when I was out there, I would show up at 5 o'clock, and it would be a Muay Thai class. And then after that, it would be a Kali class. Then after that, it would be Jeet Kune Do. And then if you stayed late enough, it would be, no, I don't want to restart my device. And then if you stayed long enough, it would be Silat. So literally, you were getting 4 or 5 different arts in one night.
Right.
and it's hard to remember all that stuff.
Right.
And it's different when you come in here because I left a review on Facebook today. I don't know if you read it or not, but you have this knack that he has. He just does it so fast, but you're able to break down complex situations and problems into simple things that if I put it to like baking. You have ingredients, you have temperature, you have all this other stuff. You're phenomenal at that. And I'm not just saying that to kiss your ass or anything like that, but that's why I like training here, because you are able to take this algorithm to get into, you know, whatever move it is, break it down to a knee slide, to cross control, to you know, whatever it is, in every step along the way, and then you give us, the students, the time to practice it, and then you're not afraid to call us out on our shit, which I appreciate, because if you're not paying attention, like you said the other day in class, it comes down to why you're there, but you truly build this family of people that want to learn around you. And I think that those are the similarities that I saw. And I don't know if that just kind of like brought us back around to any topic of discussion, but that is what I see as a teaching method from the various places in Charlotte. And like TC down the road, when I came back here for the last time, I started training with TC over there, and then it just fell out, and then ran across you with Jordan. And I don't remember if you and I met at Jenny Young's fight in Greensboro, and it's when you did the flip off the cage, and you told everybody in the crowd that you were going to beat their ass and to come down to the cage if they wanted to challenge you, and then you walked off. And it was promotion, and you were promoting Fight Lab, and it was awesome. And you literally, you dropped the mic, you climbed up on the cage, you did a backflip, the whole place went crazy, and then the show went on. Do you remember that?
No.
All right, then.
Bread life stories, denial. Delete.
So you deny ever doing backflips off a cage?
That's not what I said. I said I do not remember jumping off of a cage, another person's cage that wasn't Fight Lab, and I don't remember using vulgarity at someone else's show. I can't imagine.
Brian Hesley, next time you're in here, remind Professor.
Brian's a white belt. Brian's not going to say that to me. He's just going to look at you and be like, "What are you talking about, dude?" Hey, listen, while we're talking about this stuff, and again, we're going to have Dave Metzl on here, but I want to save the, not necessarily Scott in particular, but Scott is one of those guys here in Charlotte that has been targeted. Joe Hurst has been targeted. Louis Togno has been targeted. Paulo Mushu has been targeted. And it's amazing, and we talked about this before the show started, it's always the people that are the oldest, have the most experience, was here from the beginning, have probably forgotten more jiu-jitsu
than I'll ever learn.
Than all of us combined. You know, I went down to Joe Hurst's studio, and he's out in Mooresville at this Muay Thai place, and to get Joe sometimes to focus and stop and actually concentrate on what you came down there for, which is jiu-jitsu. Okay, he likes to bullshit around with me so much. He wants to talk about old times and tell stories, and God forbid I have one of my students with me because he embarrasses me. But you know, he wants to have a good time because I don't get to see him a lot. He don't get to see me a lot, and it's always been that way because there's always been a distance with us, and physical distance, not emotional, but physical. And finally, I went down to his studio. Nicole came, and
when was this?
This was probably about a month ago.
Okay.
And got on the mat with him, and he showed a grip break from that spider web position.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there looking at it, and I'm going, because at first he was just rambling on and on and on about these stories, and then he just, I don't even know how he ended up. All of a sudden he was just like, "So do you care if I show you something?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And he told his student to get down and get into the cross arm defense, and I literally was thinking to myself,
I Dream of Jeannie.
Yeah, I Dream of Jeannie. Yeah,
that needs to be our theme song.
I Dream of Jeannie. Yeah. So she's in the Genie grip defense to the armbar on her back, and he's sitting beside her and he's attacking her arm. And I literally thought to myself, you know, and this is just me being the young pup and Joe being the wise and almighty 4 stripes, 5 stripe, whatever damn degree stripe he is. Excuse me, man, black belt. And I literally was sitting there thinking to myself, God, dude, he's going to show a freaking grip break. And this is so boring. And he started to do it. And about 10 seconds later, I realized, I was like, what the hell is he doing? And then I realized, man, I think he showed me that almost 13, 14 years ago.
Did you remember it?
I remembered it when he showed it, but then I thought to myself, why in the hell have I not been teaching that? In other words, like I said, they've forgotten more jiu-jitsu than all of us combined. I mean, this was just old school jiu-jitsu, how to break the grip when your opponent defends, and, you know, how to comb the hair. And I'm sitting there thinking, you know what? I show grip breaks all the time. Well, I showed you guys some grip breaks, and they're the most complicated tack. Pulling the far arm, spinning around, and just all this complicated stuff. And then he shows this simple going underneath, comb the hair. And I thought to myself, you know, why haven't I showed that to my white belts? And then I thought back, and then I went back even further. I said, I thought about all the times I went to other schools and seen other black belts teach arm breaks, and looked around, and there's 5, 6, 7, 8 white belts, and they're trying all these complicated ways to break that grip. And I couldn't remember any of those black belts showing that. And I mean, so the point I'm going back around to is there's a lot of people in the Charlotte area, and I'm sure it's like this in other places. I don't know, but hopefully it is. Hopefully we're not the lone wolf of ignorance in jiu-jitsu, but it seems like the old school people's always bring it into question, always debating, always someone's a fraud, someone's this. And again, I'm talking about black belts.
They're like ants.
Yeah, like ants. And the reality is, I mean, like you said about Scott Shields, I mean, I don't know if he was a black belt back then. I think you said he was a brown belt, and I don't know if he was ever awarded his black belt. But that was 2000. What did you say? 2001. Okay, so if it was 2001, which is about around the time I started jiu-jitsu, that was 16 years ago. So that's 2001. So he's been rolling, we know for a fact, since 2001.
Before that, from what I understand.
Well, I mean, but at least 2001.
I can confirm.
2001, and he had a brown belt on. Let's pretend you're wrong. Let's just pretend for a second you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say he had obviously he wasn't a white belt because he had students, and you guys were coming in him. So let's drop it down. Let's say he was a purple belt.
Okay.
Okay. Back then, to get a damn purple belt, it's not like today. You couldn't bullshit you couldn't bullshit your way to a purple belt back then. So let's pretend he had a purple belt back then. Okay. Let's say it took 4 years to get that purple belt, which would have been quick back then.
Yes. Oh.
So we're going to put it at 97. This is 2017. That's 20 years. At what point does someone say, you know what? This guy's been in the business for 20 years. Who in the hell am I to say he's a fraud, or he's not good, or he's not real, or he's this, or he's that? 20 years.
So
my son's 20.
I know.
He ain't been on this. My son's been on this earth 20 years. So when my son was born, he was doing jiu-jitsu, pretty much. Roundabout, give a year or two.
I'm sure he came out with a brown belt on.
I can't wait to get Dave Mansell on here. You know, Dave.
When do you want to do that?
Dave said he's got some stuff to work around through with his work.
Okay.
And then he's going to come on here, and he said he's had some stuff on his chest since 1993. It's going to be interesting. And if you guys don't know who Dave Mansell is, He's phenomenal.
Just Google.
Just Google him. He's produced some ridiculously good jiu-jitsu players. I mean, just ridiculous.
So I'm looking. Are we going to stick to Tuesdays? Is that what you want? Do you want Tuesdays? What works better for you?
I prefer Wednesdays.
Wednesdays.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
So everybody out there listening.
So we're going to save all the fraudulent stuff for when Dave gets on. We're not going to talk anymore about anybody's belts or lineage or history.
Well, no, I have one quick question.
You do have one?
You brought up 4 big names.
What?
And people questioning their authority. Why do you think people are inclined to question that? Which think about this, when you said that somebody had looked up on the website that you came from Checkmat, and it might have just been an affiliation.
Yeah, which it is. It's an affiliation, but it's a series of affiliation. Trust me. That's what. It's very serious.
I mean, I'm going to pick up the camera one of these days, and I'm going to show you the wall of plaques and other shit over there that, digression, sorry. Why do you think, I know people are generally pulled to negativity because negativity creates conversation, and conversation to negativity creates this, hey, look at me, which I think a lot of social media does at the time, but
yeah, I do it all the time. Good.
But you're good at it. Why do you think that those 4 people that you just mentioned are questioned about their lineage?
Well, I think it's the Charlotte area in general, and I think it's because jiu-jitsu here in Charlotte jumped off to a drama-filled start. I know for me, day one, boom, I come to the Hoist Gracie seminar at Joe's, and then we all go out to eat, and I could just, I could sense at the dinner table and the discussion, a lot of stuff was about money. A lot of stuff was about politics. Coming from a wrestling background, there's no money involved in wrestling. Right. Everybody's doing it for the love of the sport and for for people to get better. And I could tell from the conversation at the table, being there with Joe and with Hoist and with the people with Hoist and the people there with Joe, that there was a lot of money and that there was a lot of politics. And then from being under Joe, from a physical distance away, from even in Asheville and then having to drop down here, every time I came down here, I could just, you could feel it. And then when, so then Joe, not getting into the whole story because I don't want to go deep into it, but, then him and Helson had a falling out, and then he had a car wreck, and then he switched to Gracie Baja. I mean, it's just, some of those are cause and effect. Okay. Somebody tells you got to do something, you got to do it. If you don't do it, then there's consequences. Well, the consequences has an effect on other people and things going on, and then you make your own decisions. Joe made a decision to go to Gracie Baja and leave the Gracie Network or whatever it was that he was doing with Helson and those guys. But that's drama. That's drama, and drama breeds. There's one thing that drama will definitely breed, and that's hard feelings. And for some reason in Charlotte, those hard feelings just didn't die. And hard feelings can build lies.
Yeah.
And you got some. I can't tell you how many retards, just absolute. In fact, you know what? I talked to one last night. Somebody said to me last night. They said,
"A retard."
Yeah, a retard, a crazy person. Well,
listen. By the way, retard is not a bad word. It just means something. It's not a slang term, and I'm sick and tired of people telling people not to use the word retard or retarded.
Okay, I don't care what you say. I can say whatever I want to. It's mine.
It's his fucking podcast.
So listen. So somebody last night said to me, "Well, we know some of Joe Hurst's belts are frauds." Well, and hold on.
Wait.
No. What? Just let me finish. And I know what they're talking about, and I don't agree with everything Joe does. I don't agree with everything that other people do. People don't agree with everything I do. But when it comes to a guy like him, do you know how many black belts I have?
None.
0. Do you know how many black belts John Piper has?
1.
0. He has no black belts under him. I don't know how many Jeremy Rail has. He got his black belt 3 or 4 years, 2-3 years before me, I think. But he can't have that many. Joe Hurst has tons of black belts, and in those black belts are people like myself,
Mm-hmm.
Roger Carroll,
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Jimmo, Rusty Hahn,
Butch
Marks.
Shout out to Jeff. I haven't seen him in a while.
Butch Marks up at American Top Team.
Yeah.
Tito Hart's. Sly, Tank. Guys, just some dudes that were just in their day were scary. But then look at the people that they produced. You can't argue with that. So let's say Joe Hurst has a couple of ass clowns for black belts, which I'm sure he does, because I've looked at some of them and said, why would you ever promote that dude to black belt? But if Joe says they're a black belt, they're a black belt. I've looked at some of his lower belts and I'm like, what the hell is going on? But before you can vocalize that, you need to make damn sure that you know who in the hell else is under him. You need to make sure that you understand the full history. It would be like me sitting here saying that I think, what was the guy's name you said? Jeet Kune Do guy?
Dennis Hunter.
Yeah. Or I'll give you a better example on my end. Pops, Billy Wicks.
Oh, God.
When Billy Wicks
can't award a belt under.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't award belts. But when he got to a certain age and he wanted to be around people, he wanted to be friends. A lot of people flocked to him and came out and said they were certified under him and they were this and they were that, and it pissed me off to it burns me up to this day sometimes. But before anybody can come out of their mouth and go, well, that guy's a fraud, and he did that, and it starts pointing the finger at Pops. You got to look, well, okay, whatever, but look at the other people that Pops coached, he trained, he produced. And, we all make mistakes. I've got people under me that I'm sure somebody will look and go, well, he shouldn't be a purple belt, or he shouldn't be a blue belt, or he shouldn't be this. I used to catch flack for Eddie all the time, but people just couldn't be satisfied. Well, he shouldn't be a blue belt. Well, what belt should he be? Well, he should be a purple belt. He's won the blue belt division 100 times at Naga. Well, then you promote him to purple belt, and then guess what they say? Well, he shouldn't be a purple belt. He's too young. He's too young. So no one's ever going to be happy. I'm never going to be happy if what goes on at somebody else's school.
Do you see that just here, or do you see that nationally?
You know what? I've never really explored outside of the Carolinas in jiu-jitsu. I will say this though. I don't hear it as much in other places. Charlotte has just been entrenched in drama. Joe, at one point, Joe was the only real, Scott and those guys were here, but Joe had an actual big school of just jiu-jitsu. And then in came Louis Togno, and Louis Togno came in, and immediately it was drama. People were saying, I remember the guys at Joe all said Lewis was a fraud. They all swore up and down he was a fraud. And you can still go on the internet today and find the forums and stuff. Hell, I don't know. Maybe his instructor, nobody could find his instructors what they claimed. I don't know.
That's the same thing that they claimed about Scott.
Yeah, it's the same thing they said about Scott. And then it's always been a lot of drama, and it's for some reason it's just carried on throughout the years. So I don't know, but when we get Dave Mansell on here, we'll definitely hit more into it. What we really need to talk about right now is that no good for nothing, low down, dirty weasel, commander-in-chief, president of the United States of America, Big Daddy D. Donald Trump, who did not tweet me back. Did not even acknowledge. Didn't even acknowledge it. It hurt. Here.
I can feel the pain.
It hurt right here. Like underneath the left nipple. That's where the heart is, right? Or is it in the center?
It's a little off to the side.
Well, it hurt in
but
there.
It hurts right in there.
It didn't hurt as much as Keith Richardson not being in the UFC. We're on that January 27th card, which we're all going to hashtag Rockstar
Rockstar UFC
And
2018.
do our best to get him on.
Wait. Okay, so let's come up with the official Twitter and social media handle. What do you want it to be? Hashtag
Rockstar UFC.
Rockstar. I mean,
You don't think that works?
it's too broad.
No, because there's not many rock stars.
Okay, Rockstar.
Hashtag Rockstar UFC.
Rockstar.
I mean, it's not going to matter if they're sending it to the UFC. The UFC's gonna know, or Keith Richardson UFC.
I would say Rockstar. I would say hashtag Rockstar Keith Richardson UFC, because I know how the UFC handles their social media,
Okay.
and it's not going to get to the correct people.
Okay.
Hashtag Keith Richardson UFC.
All right. Listen. How much time we got left? What time? What
As
time?
long as you want to go.
It's 8:45. I think we got started about 7.
We got started late
45.
because of technical difficulties, which is my fault, and I apologize.
Okay. So.
Let's bring up our show list.
Well, yeah. Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up real quick.
Bring that motherfucker up. And by the way, this podcast is brought to you by Sweetwater. Oh, shit. I forgot the big shout out.
Flesh and Blood.
Flesh and Blood.
Flesh and Blood Geese here in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Homegrown, and I went to actually, I'm not going to say where I went to go meet him. I don't know if he wants me to say that yet, but these geese he's got a pearl weave and a gold weave. The gold weave is a little bit heavier, but I swear to goodness they were on par with my black chatmac gi, which is my favorite gi.
Yeah, these geese are nice. I was blown away when the first
Who made? Good. I'm sorry.
The two of my new students, Megan and Aaron, I sent them to get geese from him, and when they came in that night, I was blown away. I could not believe the quality, especially considering I just spent like $150 on a damn gi, and they got that gi for $65.
$65. His name is I'm just going to say Andrew S. Andrew is here in the local Charlotte area. I talked to him yesterday. He's been doing this for almost 12 years, I think he said. The geese he gets, and if you're a school and you want to have I'm telling you, how would you describe the collar and the weave on the gi?
It's just phenomenal all the way around. Listen, if you have a high quality gi, I promise you his gi is going to be comparable to it in every sense. I mean, it's just especially I couldn't believe. Usually there's a trade off.
Yes.
This has been my experience with gi companies. You either buy the design or you buy the quality of the gi. It's one of the two. There's usually a trade off. Or if you do get both, the price tag is just astronomical. But with the quality and feel of the gi, everything on it, the fitting, everything, just top notch. But then the design, man, that black and yellow one you came in here with,
phenomenal, wasn't it?
You know what pisses me off more than anything? I don't have a damn Flesh and Blood. All you
just wait until Christmas.
Christmas?
Damn it.
Okay, all right, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish it, Flesh. Never mind. Everybody buy Flesh and Blood. Check this guy out. Seriously. Go to Flesh and Blood. They've got a Facebook page. They have a website. Check them out. Was it Flesh and Blood?
Flesh and Blood Fightwear.com. But if you go to his Facebook page, I judge people by their responsiveness on their Facebook page. When you go to your Facebook page, it's very responsive. This guy is on it, and he will meet you and PayPal, cash. He prefers PayPal. It's obviously easier to track. The line of work that he's in, you don't want to, let's just say you don't want to be seen handling cash, but PayPal, it verifies your purchase. It protects you. It protects him. And I'm telling you, the gi that I got a white one, and I got the black and gold one, and he has a gray. He's out of stock. I really want the grayest. The gray. I'm gonna wear my gray top and my blue pants. Wait, no. I'm gonna wear my black and gold top and my white pants. Just so you can beat the shit out of me extra that.
We don't do interracial relationships in gi uniforms.
That's why I said that. But George, talking to Jordan this morning about that after listening, and he says, "I'm just going to come in and I'm going to wear a black and white top and a blue bottom." And I said, "You go ahead and do that and see what happens."
He's not going to do that.
Oh, he will.
So, moral of the story is Flesh and Blood.
FleshAndBloodFightwear.com.
Go check him out,
Facebook. Please. And he's locally grown in Charlotte, and he's going to be a national brand one day. I promise.
He should be. He should be sort of like Keith Richardson should be in the damn UFC. Let me ask you a question. What do you think? Do you think Dana White could withstand what Keith Richardson went through in his tours over in Iraq? You think he's that much of a? Do you think he's man enough? Because I saw some pictures of Dana back in his younger days, and I probably shouldn't be doing that because we really are trying to get Keith in the UFC. But it just pisses me off to no end. I'm so frustrated with the UFC right now.
So, do you want to hear a quick UFC story?
If Keith Richardson don't get in the UFC Charlotte show, nobody go to the UFC.
I was literally just going to say that.
Don't go.
If you have tickets,
you know what? January 27th, I think. Doesn't Fight Lab have a show that week?
They tentatively
go to their show.
Go to their
support local MMA. Support local MMA that supports guys that puts their lives on the line for the United States of America, and so that you can sit your big bloated asses and even consider going to the UFC. So support local MMA. Go to 864. There's a new promotion called 864. These guys are going to be killing it. They're going to be killing it. They're going to be killing it. I promise you. Warfare. Go to Warfare. Go to NFC. But either the UFC supports homegrown talent. Yes. Instead of picking up everybody off the damn West Coast and at all these other big gyms, either they're going to support us or we're not going to support them. Don't give them your damn money.
Do you want?
Damn it, Derek Brunson's the main event. Ja.
I was going to bring up the post.
Well, we should make him do a show in Wilmington. That's a trade-off. We'll just, hold them hostage. We'll just hold the UFC hostage, guys. We won't go to the Charlotte show, and then we won't buy the pay-per-view unless you go to Wilmington. Unless they do a show in Wilmington. That's what we'll do. UFC Wilmington.
So
hashtag.
Is that another hashtag?
Well, I mean, we're going to see.
Fuck it. We're coming up with hashtags.
We got to see where this thing goes. But I'm serious about the Keith Richardson thing, man. This pisses me off.
I wanted to bring up real fast a response to a quote about Fight Lab on the Facebook page. Did you want to touch on that at all?
Nah, it's not even worth it.
Okay.
It's not even worth it. It's not even worth it.
You know which one I'm talking about.
You know what? Because of that quote, for the next 5 shows, anytime somebody brings up Fight Lab, we're not going to even say after the next 30 seconds, we're not going to say Fight Lab anymore.
Okay.
If it's going to be like that, because there shouldn't be any problems. There's no problems on my end, so there shouldn't be any problems. So instead, if we have something to say about Fight Lab, we won't say Fight Lab. We'll say 864.
Done.
Is that done? Is that
done? Fair.
Okay.
It's your show.
Because I thought everybody was respectful and everybody was getting along, but whatever.
Especially after what you said.
That's what I thought.
I thought
maybe the guy can't read. I don't know. Or maybe he can't. Maybe he's delusional, like his brain was scrambled or something. I don't know, because what I said was as respectful and complimentary as all get out. I think they're great, but whatever. So from now, we'll say 864. 864. Okay. So let's go on.
You did it to yourselves.
Nah, I'm pretty sure they don't care anyway, but that's cool with me. Let's see here. Donald Trump not tweeting me back. State of BJJ bullshit.
Big D
technique. We got the shit that works seminars coming up starting next week.
But the shit that doesn't work.
Well, hell, that's every day I see. But shit that works seminars next Saturday here at Checkmate Charlotte.
How to win on top.
$20. How to win on top.
Look, if you are in Charlotte and you cannot afford $20 to come to this seminar, just email us at the Bread's Kitchen, and we will make sure that you're taken care of, because for $20 for just 2 hours of instruction from this guy here, you don't know what you're missing.
Yeah, and it's actually a clinic, not really a seminar, it's a clinic. That's what we called them in my old wrestling coaching days. It's a clinic. We're going to focus. We're going to focus on one thing: winning on top. And for $20, you're going to come in here, and we're going to show you some stuff, and hopefully you're going to be able to use it. I'm pretty sure you will, because a lot of the athletes that I've trained: Johnny Buck, Adam DeHart, Joe Pacheco, Carl Reed, Eddie Allen, Nicole, some of the people that's stuck it to you personally on the mat. I'm going to show you the stuff I showed them. But that's going to be next Saturday, okay, 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock, $20 for everybody. All academies are welcome. I do not discriminate. You know, I'm good with anybody. You come, all right? Hey,
unless you wear a different color top and bottom.
Real quick. Tennessee, Coach Pruitt, defensive coordinator from Alabama, recruiter of the year. All of you people that was laughing, all the jokes, Shakir Wallace, Carl Reed, Regina, Nicole, John. Oh, they've all laughing. They've been laughing at me.
Oh, God bless America.
All them. That's okay. They've all laughing. It's not funny anymore. He's here. University of Tennessee, Rocky Top. I was going to treat you guys tonight and sing Rocky Top for you live and in color, but I'm going to wait.
No. What? You need to do that.
No. I'm not going to do it. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve it, man. They don't deserve it. But I'll tell you what I will do.
Okay.
Next year, after we win our first game, I will sing Rocky Top from beginning to end.
I have to put that in my calendar a year from now.
Put that in the calendar too. Dave Mansell and Rocky Top.
Well, Dave, please contact us very soon to get on the show. Maybe next Wednesday.
Well, yeah, maybe next. Well, I don't know if he'll have his work stuff done, but another gentleman we're going to have on is Matthew Brown.
Okay.
Matthew Brown served United States military.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say he was in the United States Army. If I'm incorrect, Matt, please, I apologize. But and he's doing a lot of good stuff, and he runs his own martial arts school, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I think he may teach some other stuff down in the down towards Jacksonville. And we're going to have him on, and he's going to talk to us about some stuff, some struggles that he had with PTSD and how he overcame that, and how he's using that as a strong force. He's ready to go into his own. He's already got his own school, over 170 students. He's ready to build a new custom school, and we're going to talk to him eventually. He's going to have him on. We're also going to have the rock star Keith Richardson on here pretty soon too. So we've got some very interesting guests. Carl Reed, no worries, Carl Reed from Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Coach Ray Thompson School down in Simpsonville. Going to be having him on sometime soon here in the near future. And I might, depending on how she acts, might have Nicole Hunt come on here.
Oh! Talk to us about, she said I had a good radio voice.
Talk to her. Is that what she said?
That's what she said.
She's
just anytime
she's kissing up because she wants to get on. She wants to get on the show.
Well, it's the only time anybody said anything about my radio voice.
I don't even really know if we really want her on the show, because she's a mean person.
She's very mean. She beats the shit out of me every fucking time I roll.
Another thing, No Gi Worlds IBJJF is coming up right around the corner.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
forgot about that.
Yeah, No Gi Worlds is coming up, and Pipe Doctor John Piper's going up there. I look forward to him going up there and stealing the show. I got him coming home with first place. I live vicariously through John Piper and Brian Edwards. I'm too fat ashamed to do that. So I live through that, man.
Vicariously.
Hey, you want to hear something funny? So,
of course.
So, have you seen that picture of me grappling with the IBJJF?
Yes.
And I'm looking over on the other
yes.
Piper.
I was wondering what you were looking at.
I told Piper before the damn match, I said, dude, you stand over there. If I get in trouble, I'm tagging you in. I look up, that son of a bitch is out on the mat. Grab, how are you gonna help me if you're out on the mat when I'm on the mat? That don't even make any damn sense. And Brian Edwards didn't even show up. Like I'm gonna have to hire some new bodyguards or something, man.
Well, only when we go to Atlanta.
Only when we go to Atlanta.
I know some really good bodyguards.
Really?
I mean, Snake.
I don't think Snake's gonna be.
I've known Snake since Jimmy Buffett days.
We have a bread life story dealing with Snake. But I'm not gonna. We'll save that for another day.
Snake, don't fucking kill me next time you see me. And I'm coming up there, and I'm gonna come up there and just train just because I love you.
Oh, Snake's awesome, man. Snake got his black belt finally. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Him and
he's had it for I believe 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah. Him and Renard. I think Renard got his before he left them. And got his before Snake. Man, those are two good grapplers.
Snake he comes off sometimes as a.
Have you seen Snake's angry black man face?
Yes.
He is the best angry black. I don't have a good angry black man.
Well, I mean, if you stand off the stage with Jimmy Buffett for 15 years, you gotta have an. Are you giving me your angry black man face right now?
I can't do it like Snake. Snake's like. I love Snake.
Well, I mean, both of you guys don't have a neck. But I do have a question. Why the fuck do you and Eddie have the same jiu-jitsu picture pose?
What do you mean? Because he's my son, Dingleberry. What do you mean, why do we have the same jiu-jitsu pose?
It's awesome.
He wants to be me.
It's
awesome. He
wants
to be the big daddy.
If you go to the Facebook page right now, you'll see Eddie to your right, and both of you have the same neck posture. You have no neck, literally.
People don't realize how thick Eddie's neck is.
It's
because he's tall.
He's tall.
He's tall, but he has no neck. Like his neck is. I mean, he has a neck, but it's wide.
But when you put on a gi, you look like a head and body. There's like no shoulders.
I look like a head and a body.
And that's why I can't when we try to roll. I mean, we were just talking about it, the last time I tried to roll, I tried to put a darce on you, and I literally, I mean, you reversed in a second, but I could not get my arm underneath your chin to save my life. And I tried to do the same thing to Eddie one time, and then he just took my back and choked me out. But it's just funny because you guys have no necks, literally. You know what? That's another subject that we need to address, and we may do this one with Mansell too, because Dave Mansell. Do you remember he had the Sima Spiders, little young badass little kids? Yes. Them some badass little kids, but they'd tear your ass up with it. They was good. They had multiple YouTube videos out. I believe they had. Yeah. All those guys. Yeah. Now, they were the generation before Eddie's. They might have been 2 generations before. I'm talking like a year or 2. But we need to do a podcast show on young Charlotte. Up and coming prodigies. You know, Eddie's definitely. Well, yeah, Eddie's obviously one of them. I'm not saying that just because he's my son. It's just a fact that he is. But him. Come in here and roll with him, and there's no doubt that Brett is not showing favorites. Him, Flea, J.J. Bradley, Dennison Pivot, Sabrina Wright, Roberto Rivas. Listen, there's some more coming up. There's a little kid down at Jeremy Rail School, Pierce. His name is Pierce. How is your young kids class going? It's going great. Okay. It's going phenomenal. Our Power Ponds class. Is that what you call Power Ponds? Yeah, Power Ponds. Okay. And you had like 5 kids in here the other day. Yeah. Went from 0 to 5 quick. Very fast. But I'm real particular. Like I'm not trying to grow very fast. I want the chemistry to be right. I don't ever want the chemistry to be wrong, because you let one wrong person in, one wrong kid in, and next thing you know, kaboom, it just blows up. And if you notice that with like our 6:30 class, everybody in there is a family. Yeah, it is. And I think that's why you're going to take over. Well, I don't know if I'll ever take over. I mean, you look over there like, I mean, hell,
Well, actually, you know what I need to do? Just sit back and just wait, and maybe it'll all implode. And I'm like, but anyways, so let's knuckle bump on this podcast. Little badass kids that's come through Charlotte.
Yeah.
So I tell you what, real quick, let's
anything else on the list?
Yeah, well, I do have one that I do want to address. Someone made a special request, and we will do requests.
Anytime.
Yeah, we'll do requests. We'll dip into the bread basket once a month. The bread basket. We'll dip into the bread basket and pull out the requests, and we'll address them on that show once a month.
That's a great. That's going up on the website tonight.
That's
the
just
bread basket.
phenomenal.
You're just smart.
That's a great idea. It's not as great as that guy's idea last night that jumped out like. Dude, we need to stop that shit because he could be dead. That's not funny. I just realized we could have just shown a picture of a dead person on the podcast.
You got hit by a car 3 times.
Well, that's true. Okay, so back to my request. So somebody asked me. They said, Brett, in your mind, in your experience, who are the top 10 grapplers that has ever came out of Charlotte?
Wow. When was this?
This was yesterday.
And who asked this question?
I can't tell you. They asked me to keep them anonymous, and the bread. I'm a man of my word.
Bread basket will be anonymous.
Okay, the bread basket is anonymous unless you put your name on the request, and then I take it. Yeah, then you're screwed. So, okay, so they asked for the top 10 grapplers, in my opinion, to ever come out of Charlotte.
Ever.
And I have them listed here. Let me see here.
Shout out to Checkmate Myrtle Beach, by the way. Tom and Kelly, thank you.
Tom is awesome. He is awesome. Awesome. So let's see here.
Shout out to Tap Tape. Call us.
Okay, so need you to get your hands up, and you're gonna count them off as I count them off.
All right, make sure my audio is. We're ready to go for a 10 count.
Number 10. Or should I start at 1?
Let's do that one.
Start at 1. Number 1. Lucas Lapre. Number 2, Lucas Lapre. Number 3, Lucas Lapre. Number 4, Lucas Lapre. Number 5, come in. It was very close on this one.
Steve Hall or Lucas Lapre?
Lucas Lapre. Number 6, Lucas Lapre. Number 7, Lucas Lapre. Number 8, the pipe doctor, John Piper. Number 9,
Lucas Lapre.
No. Number 9, J-Ho Lee.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Ah.
And number 10, Sabrina Wright.
Wow. Nicole is going to try to hurt you.
No, it's fair because Sabrina won the world title. Okay. Lucas Lapre won 7 world titles. So he gets number 1 through 7. Pipe doctor won a world title at brown belt. That's 8.
At brown belt, I forgot about that.
J-Ho Lee won brown belt last year at brown belt. That's 9. And then Sabrina won purple belt. I think it was blue belt or purple belt. It was one of the two.
She was a blue belt, I believe.
Was it blue belt?
I think she was.
Okay, she's blue belt. There's 10.
No, I mean now she's
purple belt now. Yeah. Nicole gets an honorable mention because she got 3rd in the worlds. And then Andy King, I think he placed. Some other people. Now I said Charlotte area. I'm not counting. We never always remember this. Anytime we run a top 10 list in Charlotte area, we never go east towards Raleigh.
So let's put a
because that's where all the highest, like we don't even mention their names.
So 100-mile, not even
100 miles that way, west. Never east, young man. Okay. West.
Yes, sir.
I love it. Hey guys, man, this has been great. This is going to be an awesome thing for Charlotte, and I appreciate you guys. Don't be fooled. I'm just the mouth, and that's all I do is just talk. This guy right here is the real deal. He's doing a fantastic job. I want to thank him. I want to thank Flesh and Blood, and I want to thank all these other sponsors that's going to be jumping on board here pretty soon. I want to thank each one of you guys for watching us.
Yes, shout out to everybody watching us, downloading us. You guys have already helped us out so much. And sometimes I like to end the shows with a charity. Do you have a specific charity that you like to give to anytime?
Yes. Would you like me to say what it is? Right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are we like giving a shout out to the charity, or what do we do? Would you give it a shout out?
Shout out to the charity. How can they donate and why?
Oh, well, I'm not prepared for all that now.
Okay, just shout out to the charity and how can they donate?
Well, I forgot the name of the charity. Okay. I have a charity in mind. I just can't remember what the damn. Actually, you know what? This is what we'll do because
Let me go first.
Geese for GIs.
Oh yes.
Geese for GIs. Brian Crandall. Okay, look him up. This is a phenomenal cause. You donate geese from your gym. Put a box in your gym. Put you can go to geeseforgis.com. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. Just look Brian Crandall up on Facebook. Okay, I'll have better information next time. But look Brian Crandall up, please, on Facebook. Ask him to send you a flyer. He'll send it to you. You take a box, you put it in your gym, put the flyer on it. Everybody in your gym, donate a gi. And this is going over to our servicemen. This is going to people that put their lives on the line for us so that we can all sit our big bloated asses down in front of that damn computer and listen to me and him run our mouths for an hour. If it wasn't for them guys, you wouldn't be able to do it. Okay? Instead, your big bloated asses would be out working a mine somewhere for Hung Hong Lee. What's that guy's name? Hung Jang Chow? Hung Jang Chow. You'd be working for Hung Jang Chow from North Korea on a mine somewhere, but because of these guys working their asses off for us and defending our country, okay, we're able to be able to sit there and enjoy the freedoms and the fruits of our labor. So please, Geese for GIs, Brian Crandall on Facebook, look him up. He's going to walk you through the thing a lot better than I could. He just hit me, man. He threw a curveball at me. Usually I can just knock them things out. He got me on this one, okay? So look him up, Brian Crandall on Facebook. He's going to walk you through everything. Get those geese out to him, man. It's for a great cause. If you don't know, man, I'm a sucker for the armed forces. I love those guys. Man, I love them. You know why I love them? Because I love me some me. Look, man, I can't protect y'all if I'm dead. So
damn straight.
We got to get them. We got to get them guys on point.
Done.
Hashtag Keith Richardson UFC. Hashtag Rockstar UFC. Let's get him in there, guys.
My charity, always going to be the Red Circle Foundation, is a quick reaction force for special operations families that are in need, that have lost a loved one in combat. And the Glenn Doherty Foundation, if you guys don't know who Glenn Doherty is, Google him. These are all Brandon Webb, Naval Special Warfare, and Glenn was also a SEAL. Go to those two foundations and donate. That's why I do Red Fridays every Fridays. Remember everyone deployed. That way we can sit down and enjoy our beers and have these conversations, because there's people out there doing things that you don't know that they're doing to make sure that you can do the shit that you want to do.
And you wouldn't do the shit they're doing.
No. Knocked this one out of the park, I think.
I think so, man. I think it was good. So
for all you live people, I'm going to start playing some exit music, and you're going to enjoy me watching me as I turn up the tunes for the people on the podcast. Peace.